What's happening, people? Sorry for being late, but of course I'm back again with another YouTube video for you lot. And of course, as you can see by the banner ticker below, 2,000 subs is very much attainable as long as hitting the like button, subscribing, commenting, pushing the algorithm out, and supporting all the guests as well. I've got Devin on today, one of my fellow Chelsea fans. You've seen the channel many times, but make sure the main thing is, right, for me, it's just comments. Not even below. It's like right now, someone's put a comment just now saying Chess top 4 is over. Even if you think it is or not, you put your comments in and we have a discussion about it. It's that simple. So everyone who joins the chat, I have no idea how big this live stream is going to be because it is like 3:50 on a random Monday. So let's have it and enjoy. Big up Mustafa, obviously Chess top 4 is over. I would disagree with that. But big up Devin in the building every single time, all the way from the other side of the pond. If you know the pun, you know the pun in it. So it is what it is.
Big up everybody. Hope everyone's blessed today. And go ahead, kick it off. I'll share my thoughts really. Just hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, up to Chelsea.
Chelsea, man. Especially people on the playback. A lot of people do watch this when eating food later on. Chelsea content creators. So hopefully I'm one of them people. Devin's face on there as well. Always on the channel. We're going to start with this, but we was talking about other things before, like Jackson, for example. I think that'd be a good starting point overall. The top 4.
Yeah, you can blend it. Blend Jackson with the top 4 comment. Yeah.
I feel like Jackson encapsulates the top 4 conversation, because obviously what he did the other day was just a bit stupid, and a lot of fans they're not even disappointed. They're kind of fed up with him now because, for context, last year was his first professional year in the top flight after he came from La Liga. Okay, so he joined Chelsea. He was fresh from Africa, I think. He played in Africa, and Chelsea, after one season in Villarreal, I think he played in the Europa League. They saw potential in him and they said, "Yeah, let's buy him." And he cost us about 35 million euros, which is quite cheap, right? And he came into Chelsea. Scored 14 goals, which is decent.
Around Tammy Abraham levels.
Yes, around Tammy Abraham level. He scored a few clutch goals as well, a few of them. But overall, people were saying it's a decent season, right? Decent season. This season, however, he started off really well. Everyone was like, oh, he's proving everyone wrong. He can start for Chelsea. And then from about December all the way until now, he's been flopping. And then to make things worse, to encapsulate the whole season, like me and Devin said before we went live, he now misses the last 2 games of the season for his petulant behaviour, kicking, hitting out abutment. So now we can't even feature. So the view of him has gone from promising to proven wrong to disappointing to, what's the word for someone needs to get out of your house or get out of your club? What is that word? I don't know. Like, what is that word? I don't know what word I could use here. Look at the thesaurus.
Skedaddle. Skedaddle. You know what it is?
Get out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you call it. Bye-bye. Is that what you say? Like,
nah.
Good. But you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be singing to him, because this joke, man, he's just a joke. You know what it is? I said this on the stream yesterday, Devin, yeah? He's not a kid like that, though. He's not like, you don't use like kids, 15, 14, 13, 12. They'll do something. He's 22. Can we stop babying people like 22 is like a kid? In terms of grand scheme of life, 22 years old is quite young, obviously.
Young. But if we're talking in balling, nah. Lamine Yamal is 17, bro. Like, this is where we gotta have some shame. I know that's a generational talent, but it's like if you see someone at 17, and he's raw, by the way. Lamine Yamal is raw. He's not even developed. He's not even like a 17-year-old with more IQ, more box awareness, more chance creation awareness, how to play on the touch of the D. Like, I don't understand how at 22. Forget if your finishing is poor. where is your box presence as a striker? As a striker, your home is inside the D, literally the box. You should be able to navigate in the box not only to create chances for your team, but to score them. That is your main responsibility as a striker, to put the ball in the back of the net. And my issue with Jackson is you've been sliding already for your performances. You've been performing terribly. I'm not going to say the whole year. I'm going to say the start of 2025. From the start of 2025 till now, Jackson has been abhorred. I would say the same goes for Palmer, but Palmer has started to pick up some performances in recent weeks. So I'm going to leave Palmer out of this. It's strictly about Jackson. Because I do think when both of them play well together, they raise each other's level. But Jackson has been absent as far as a proper striker we saw in the beginning of the season since the start of 2025.
People have had enough. Look at this. People have had enough. Jackson out. So
Jackson. No, but this is the point I want to make about the Jackson out thing. Jackson partially is getting scapegoated, and this is going to be a little controversial, and I'll tell you why. If the board had brought a proper striker in January or in the summer, Jackson wouldn't be starting. If Jackson's not starting,
cool. Let me just say on this, yeah. That point is different. That point is different to the Jackson point. That point you just said is facts. He shouldn't be relied upon. He shouldn't really be a starter. That's not the point, though. The point is he is, and he's proving not to be good enough. Now, your argument come into play for saying the reason why he's not performing good enough is because he's being relied upon. That would be a fair argument. Because in what Devon's obviously busy right now, but if you're listening to what I'm trying to say, right, Devon's point was going to make was he shouldn't be the starting striker, so therefore we shouldn't be using that lens against him. But unfortunately, because he is the striker, he's getting judged upon that. But then, ironically, you can defend him and say, well, he shouldn't be a starting striker, he should have a backup or a number one.
Right.
And therefore, we shouldn't be looking at him in that way. But it's not our fault that he's in front of our eyes. That's his fault.
Yeah. No. If we're gonna
they say, you know, a phrase is how the cookie crumbles. Like sometimes, like for example, Devon, let's just say this year, me and you right now, Devon, let's say me and you right now, you're with your M's in your house, I'm on my doing work right now. We get 1,000 people in the stream right now, and all of a sudden, 2,000 people love this dynamic. We just got to work with it.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah. Adapt. You gotta adapt. Yeah.
Now make a big bang, and we have like 3,000 people in it every day. You're just gonna look to your M's or to your job. You know what? Like, I'm getting the same bread, and I wasn't prepared for this, but it is what it is. And people are gonna judge us in the YouTube space because we're new and we don't know what we're doing. But guess what? It is what it is. It's all gonna get judged. Sorry, guys, we're new, and like
I get what you mean. No one's gonna look at us that way. They're gonna be like, yeah. So just real quick to Mustafa.
Everyone knows you shouldn't be starting as number 9, but unfortunately, because you've been trusted in that position by incompetency, which isn't your fault necessarily, we have to judge you. We can't belie you hitting someone in the head and not scoring in 10 games and go, yeah, but you're new. Same time, we can balance up with, bro, even when you are playing, like you just said, in the box, you're not doing good enough, etc. So, yes, I think it's a balanced conversation, but you're right. He shouldn't be a scapegoat. But unfortunately, him himself hasn't performed. So it's one of them where...
That's the both parts of the conversation. Holding Jackson accountable because I'm sorry, at 22, you're a grown... No. Chez is defending him. Like, Chez has been very balanced as far as I'm concerned about the attack in general, which is he's literally stated he thinks our attack creates very frequently. We just don't put the ball in the back of the net because we don't have proper. And when it comes to Jackson, what he's saying here is that he's defended Jackson at the beginning of the season and last year because Jackson warranted defending at that time. Afterwards, you can ask Chez. I know he'll speak for himself. 2025 till now, the start of January till now, no one is defending Jackson. No one is defending Jackson. And in regards to Mustafa's comment, if you think Lamal isn't raw, my brother, just give it 3-4 years and wait what type of player that becomes. That is not a finished player. That's not even a half-finished player. Trust me. That boy is the truth. But this is not a Yamal conversation, not a Barcelona conversation. This is a talk about Chelsea, what our top 4 hopes look like, and what Jackson just did, which I'm not going to say top 4 is over. I see people in the chat are dooming. That's because you Haven't seen top 4 in about 3-4 years, so you're probably, PTSD to be honest with you. But I'm gonna tell you guys very seriously,
which is understandable, by the way, which is very much understandable.
I'm just trying to help them with I'm not giving toxic positivity. I'm giving you real. The real is we have United as our next game. United just lost to West Ham, Bournemouth. But let me pull up their fixture. They have 17 losses right now.
I can do it. I can help one on you. We just do it now.
By all means, brother, please pull it because I have the Chelsea fixtures right now because I'm trying to do the whole.
By the way, I don't want to jinx it. This conversation is so crazy because anyhow we jinx it, they turn up. Bro, look at the form guide.
Look, it's one of those shows. It's not even about jinxing, bro. This is the time where it shouldn't matter about what the fans are saying. Dark magic, voodoo.
If we can't beat them, then we don't deserve.
We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it.
Yeah,
we don't.
You know what? You're right.
Bro.
It's not even I don't want to jinx it. It's if you can't beat Man United, then just
I said this calmly. Villa will draw one of their 2 games. I'll put money on it. So if Villa draws one of their 2 games, that means we only have to win 1. You would ideally like it to be Forest, but if we draw against Forest and win against United, we get through. So my point is,
guys, for the conversation, for Devin trying to say, but let's look at Man United's form just to keep the conversation flowing. So this is our next game. This doesn't even show it properly. This is the only last 5 games. They haven't won in like ages. I think their last win was
March. February or March was their last win.
I don't know.
Bro, I think their last one was like against Leicester. I'm not even trying to make stuff up. United should not. Historically, we always draw against United. But what I'm trying to say to you is where we sit right now in the season with 2 games left to go, even after losing to Newcastle because of Jackson's stupidity, we have a chance to put top 5 in our hands. Not we have to pray on the last day. Leicester gave us something. They gave us a Desmond draw against frickin' Nottingham Forest. So with that draw, it's still ours to control. Even after that terrible loss.
Yeah, but it's even better if Villa drop points. If Villa drop, basically Villa have Spurs and United. So Villa have Spurs next away, I believe. Or is it at home? Let me check.
Mustafa said Chelsea struggled under Rude. What's the chest? The chest for Chelsea? To win one of our 2 games?
He's talking about United game early in the season.
My thing is, if we can't have chess to win one of our 2 games, we don't deserve top 5, guys. People are sitting here saying it's over.
The Aston Villa result the other day really messed us up, man. I think if Villa dropped against Bournemouth, we would have been so comfortable.
But what's Villa's last 2 games? So
here's the problem, Devin. Yeah. Villa have Tottenham at home next before the final. Yeah, so we already know what's gonna happen. It's
going to be a dub. Yeah. What's the last game?
And then guess what? They'll be United after the final.
So if United win or lose, their heads are gone.
The Europa League final is in between the season. Does that ever happen? Why has that happened? I don't understand.
How does it happen? It's just blind luck. But how does it happen that they get both of the people playing absolute basura in the Prem?
So Terry said this earlier. He said that from his point of view, he said if United win Europa League, they're not going to lose the last game of the season because they've won the trophy. The pride's up. Everyone's gassed. It's a hot day. Last game of the season, right? I reckon they can get a draw or win. Cool. If they lose the final, they're definitely losing.
They're gone.
Against us.
Gone.
Which basically
and you already know Tottenham are losing.
Have to beat Forest. And the issue with that even is Forest wouldn't even have to beat us because I don't think they can get Champions League anyway. They can't. I think if they beat us, they still lose out.
No, Ches, they could do the thing because it depends on Villa. Say Villa win both their games, Forest is out of the equation. So what Forest will do, they'll crash the party and make sure we don't go in. Do you get what I'm saying? They'll make sure that it's Villa, Newcastle, Arsenal, City, Liverpool. Obviously, not in order.
I think Odoi is injured rest of the season. I believe Odoi is injured rest of the season. I believe.
I don't wish that, but that will be beneficial to us.
I'm not sure, Murillo. If Forest beat West Ham, they go above Chelsea. Yeah, and if Chelsea beat Man United, they stay above Forest. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Mustafa, you can't do the if.
Let's not look at the next game week because the next game week doesn't really change a lot. Because if Chelsea don't win the last game of the season or draw it doesn't matter. We have to look at 2 games now, Devin, because 1 game isn't really going to say much. Like,
no, but that's why I'm putting the pressure on Man U. People are trying to do this shit, beat Forest, and we can all go home. No, expect to draw against Forest. Be realistic. Forest are going to throw the kitchen sink. The entire everything, the entire stadium at it.
The context is, let's say Villa drop points, okay? It will literally be a fight out between Chelsea and Forest.
And I mean a proper shootout. You remember the 4-3 against United with Palmer dagger at the last 2 minutes? It's going to be one of those.
Take a draw. Wait, could we take a draw in that scenario? Oh, yeah. No. We could take a draw. They would have to win. We could.
That's why I'm saying they're going to throw the kitchen sink at it.
So it's not going to be... and then we have to be... Which actually benefits us. But the problem is that means, David, we don't want Villa to drop.
Yeah.
We need Villa not to drop. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My thing was, I said that before knowing the 2 games. You said Spurs and United. I'm booking that as a 6-pointer. Respectfully. Unless United win the Europa, I'm booking that as a 6-pointer in my head, bro. I'm not even trying to think that Spurs are going to give me something. They're not. United are the only team that can give me something, and if they lose that Europa League, they're not giving me nothing, respectfully. So it's just put that as a 6-pointer to get it out your head. You know what I mean? Put it worst case scenario so we know what we have to do. And the way I look at that is...
You know what? Forest could be out of it next week. I can't see Forest beating West Ham.
That's...
Genuinely.
With Adoy out, it's questionable because I saw the game. I was watching the game against Leicester before I had to start.
Good, but Forest are in quite bad form.
It's not even about, you know what it is at the end of the season, Chez? You've seen enough prems. It's not even about the table. It's not about who's where. It's not even about form at this point. In the last 3 games, everything goes out the window. People who are in top 5 throw the kitchen sink at it to get into top 5. People who are close to relegation, if the relegation fight was going, throw the kitchen sink. That's why you see like 18th place, 17th places beating the top 3. So I'm not worried about the table as far as, they're playing West Ham or they're playing Spurs. The only teams that have been doggone awful.
Anybody can turn up. Yeah.
Except Spurs.
Because who would
have predicted anybody can turn up except Spurs.
Who would have predicted Southampton to draw against City? Deep it.
If you really deep it, Crystal Palace could win their first trophy against City at the FA Cup. Like, that's what I'm saying. People are like... I don't even say we're going... Like, we have to... I say we got to calm down because it's like, I feel like people are going one of 2 extremes. I heard people talking about 2nd place last week before Newcastle. That's the far end of the spectrum. Then I hear people now saying it's completely dead. That's the other far end of the spectrum. Is there a chance we have messed it up with draws against like Ipswich and Bournemouth and all those points we've dropped? Yes. There's a chance we fucked up our top 5. But it's not completely over and it's still in our hands. And that's the point.
Let's even talk about that, yeah? The fan base a bit, because Andrew touched on it, Minter touched on it the other day, and he said a lot of the Chelsea fan base, bro, they're just losers. Like, there's such a mad spectrum when it comes to Chelsea's fan base. It's like 1 minute you're the best team, then you're the worst team. Like, a lot of people now are saying, oh, yeah, top 4's over. And I'm thinking, how is it over? Like, am I going crazy? Like, it's not
that, Chez. It's like...
You've got some people saying, oh, yeah, we can overtake Arsenal. So, like, I thought with the Chelsea fan base, they're in, like, limbo. There's no identity in it. It's like, a lot of them
know what it is?
Sore losers.
Pre-25, which I feel like are the sore losers, because the only real greatness you've gotten to see is either when you're a kid or that recent CL we got.
No, that's the reason, by the way.
Yeah. And then there's the above 50 crowd who are just like on half and half. They're like, we can't be bothered because we've seen worse, and at the same time the ownership is shit. So it's like it's never a balanced conversation in our fan base. And I feel like the reason why was because, honestly, and people don't deep it, it was that Champions League win, Chez. When we won that Champions League, we went into the next season, we got 3rd with Tuchel. And from that point forward, if we're being honest, we were at a platform to start ascending to we should have been what Arsenal are now. But because of the ownership change, because of the board switch, and the ineptitude of the sporting directors, we sit where we sit right now. which if anyone's deeping this, we were in the top 2 for more than half of the season. I was joking all the time about the title race. I was just saying mathematically we were in a title race. When we clearly fell out of that title race, we're still in the top 5. Mm-hmm. We've dropped so many points. So many. So to me, it's just like, I don't get... Yes.
Yeah, while Devin does that, yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Is like some of the Chelsea fans, bro. A lot of the chat, big up Ems in the chat, big up Mustafa. Make sure everyone, Ems, do me a favor, push his likes up for me, man. Mustafa as well. Taway, as long as it's mathematically possible, Ches, and Arsenal is Arsenal, I don't so believe we can finish above these bums. They are bums, 100%, and we could definitely finish above them, but we need to win against Man United. Every single game, one game at a time. Let's see where we land after next game, and then we could keep it moving from there, if that makes sense. So that's the way I'm seeing it. Bit of everyone in the chat as well. But yeah, man, the Chelsea fan base, a lot of them are losers. A lot of them supported the club and made their channels when Chelsea were doing good. And the fan base was starting to grow, and Twitter was evolving, and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And now we're not doing good. A lot of them are crybabies. Me and Dog speak on the phone about this all the time. They just can't handle the fact that under Roman, towards the end, Chelsea were regressing. Marino was signing players like Zappa Costa, Drinkwater, all these scrubs
don't
weren't performing. And when you say that to people, they're like, what? Yeah, but we were still winning. You donut. We hadn't challenged for a league since 2017, you idiot.
You're going to piss some people off. Don't do that. Don't speak the truth.
They're so dumb. And they're like, yeah, but the standards were high. Do you not realize, Devin, we were dropping in our standard? And by the way, this is before the new ownership came in. We were losing in finals. We lost against Leicester. We lost against Liverpool. We were making poor signs. We signed Lukaku for like 110 M's. Things were going wrong, but the Champions League win, dare I say it, because you still earned the win, it masked over the massive crack in the recruitment, the management. Everything was just going wrong. And I'm not saying he couldn't have changed it, but I'm just saying we had to deal with what was happening. And a lot of these loser fan bases like, oh, it's terrible. We can't even make top 4. What's going on? What the new ownership have done, Devin knows this, they've redone the whole thing. They've said we need a new team. The team's regressing. When they were going to do it our own way. Some people disagree with how they're doing it, like me and you. We want to get more experience, cool. But they're doing it their way, fine. Let's see if it works out. Not after 2 years, after a few more years. That's how it is.
Yeah. My thing is, if you look at it, just when you speak about Roman, and I don't want to do an overarching Chelsea conversation. I will keep it to like present, but you should address that. And what it is that people thought we were bigger than what we are. And I mean that with no disrespect to my football club. I mean, people thought we were Man United and Liverpool when we weren't. And then when that reality came crashing upon them, they couldn't deal with it. Because to some Chelsea fans, they think in the modern era, we are the biggest club. Like in England, we have won the most trophies up until the treble by City. Yeah. Exactly. So a lot of people, especially the youngins, they walk around like they are the hot shit. You get me? And the thing that scares me the most is like, I want people to criticize this new ownership with a balanced view. But if I'm being honest, a lot of people are just crashing on the ownership because they're mad Roman is gone. And I think we don't get to any healthier place if we're not being realistic. Like when you speak about sack the sporting directors because they wasted these last 2 windows, we don't have a competent striker. We don't have, people are mixed about Sanchez, but we don't have a proper number 1 goalkeeper. There's some holes when it comes to us defensively. Midfield, excellent. You notice when we talk about the midfield, no one says shit, right? No one wants to crash on the ownership then, right?
Oh, I haven't seen
because that midfield is a top 3 midfield in England. Yeah, so no one says a damn thing. And this is what I'm trying to say about the fan base. You can't choose to crash it on the ownership when they do something wrong, but ignore what they do right. And me personally, I already said it. This ownership has a lot of growing to do. They have a lot of work to do. They haven't achieved shit. So I'm not going to sit here and defend them. But what I will defend them against is people crashing on the ownership just because they want Daddy Roman back. Roman's not coming back, people. He's gone. So we have to move forward. Chelsea Football Club is not Roman Abramovich. Chelsea Football Club was here when Kenny Bates was here when Roman Abramovich is here, and it's now here with Blueco. Blueco will leave again. God willing, we'll all be alive to see it, and there will be a new ownership group. So focus on the club and how to get the club back to winning ways, not about which owner you prefer, this, that, and the third. Don't get it twisted. Roman was the best owner I've ever seen in my lifetime as far as the Premier League goes.
The best owner in terms of footballing
but
club.
He's gone, man. And I feel like that's where some of the loser fan base opinions come from. Like, you got to accept where your club is in the present.
When people call Chelsea fans sport brats, that's what we're kind of explaining. A lot of them are entitled to think that the Roman era was going to happen forever, and it was just going to be sustainable, where the model was just going to work and they were going to figure it out. And now we've gone this direction and we're not doing well, and our rivals are doing better than us on paper. They can't handle it. And that kind of contrast is what's making them upset, seeing Arsenal being in the Champions League that we was in the past, seeing Man City overtake us in trophies. These small things are now making them even more annoyed. And it's so pathetic. I'm 25 and I'm telling people 30, 40 years old, like, this is how business works. This is how life is. It's not always one way. Everybody knows in life, things go up and down all the time. It's not one way. It's not linear. It doesn't work like this where success, you know what I'm saying? Man like Garrett, my guy, every single time. Big up G. I don't know how you found this thing. Big up G, man, my guy. But success doesn't work like this where in a dev, like, oh, it's always going to do better and Roman was always going to work. That's how you know Roman wasn't going to fall off. I'm not just saying this because after the fact he's gone. I'm just saying we were seeing
No. You have real data. Like, we were falling. Listen, we were falling off. We were regressing. And people are like, what do you mean by falling off? We won a Champions League. We had Go.
Can I even say this? You know, we won the league, and in between was a 10th, and then we won the league again. That shouldn't have happened. We shouldn't have had that low.
The first CL. No. Talk about it. The first CL.
That's what I'm saying.
Players down tools because they were having an issue with the manager. Di Matteo comes in.
Hazard and Kante, two of the best players ever playing in the Premier League, by the way, like arguably top 10 ever, should have had way more Prem, and should have had, obviously, Kante's case, way more champs, and Hazard's case, 8 champs. But
you know what it really is, though? It's jealousy, Chuz.
And we're not complaining. We're not saying, we could have won 10 Premier Leagues. Obviously, that's spoiled. And again, life doesn't work like that. But what we're trying to say is it wasn't as rosy in hindsight as it may have felt in the moment, which is life as well. Sometimes you have to retrospect and look back and go, you know what? Maybe that was bad or as good as I thought it was. Because hindsight is a lucrative commodity. It allows you to look back and events and see how it's led up to where you are now.
That's the thing. People forget what they were saying years ago, and we're all guilty to it to a certain degree.
Everyone's guilty, by the way. I'm not saying we're of all blame and where we don't do anything wrong. We are probably part of the problem in terms of some aspects.
Of course.
We know this.
Human.
We know this though, so we're able to acknowledge. Yeah, me and Dev at some points maybe we've gone overgassed or too critical or too polite and nice in certain aspects. We can.
I tried to gas the title race, hoping we were genuinely going to be in it, and we fell out. Like, not even 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like, it's normal because with new information, you're allowed to change your perspective and opinion on something. And the reason I bring up Roman and all of this, I'll segue it back into our present, where we sit. 2 games left in the season and a Conference League final. Hit the likes, people. Don't forget the likes. Hit the likes. Subscribe. Big up Chess. What I would say to this, man, is that a lot of what I've seen from the recent 3 years, where we've been in the mud, it's been jealousy, bro. Pure jealousy. Oh, City won the treble. Oh, City four-peated. Oh, look, it's Liverpool that are winning the title this year. We're nowhere to be found. Look at Arsenal. They almost won the Champions League. And it's like, guys, let's focus on us. We beat City for a Champions League. I'm not worried about City. City are on a different playing field as far as how their ownership runs everything. I'm not worried about United or Liverpool. You guys, like, I feel like people want Chelsea to be a bigger club. And if you really want Chelsea to be a bigger club, they need to win. So focus on yourself. Focus on what we're doing on the pitch. Focus on how we're being run. Not focusing on how far did Arsenal get in the Champions League? And I'm being bantered because they're in the Champions League and I'm in the third tier European division. You get what I mean? Like, we need to focus on us, because I feel like part of the biggest issue with this fan base is it's too social media. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, they see somebody get bantered, they try to throw some banter on social media, and then rightfully so, when we don't perform to like a title challenging season or we don't win a trophy, we're going to get bantered back. And then that's when we start acting like a bunch of losers. Like we've never been here before.
Losers,
you know?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Bro, and Spurs and United are about to finish 15th to 17th in the league. Do you think United after this season are just going to sit there and go, oh, we finished 16th. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to compete next year. Bro, they're going to come in next year saying we're going to win the league, because that's how United fans are. You get what I mean?
Like, there's one thing I agree with League Honor in terms of like every season, everyone starts on zero. Like, forget about the last season or the last 10 years. Every single year you've got a chance. Leicester went from literally promoted to winning the Premier League, which proves literally the anomaly is them winning the league, but the anomaly isn't the mentality of them bouncing back the next year. That's standard for everybody. Next season, Chelsea will be looking to achieve better things from this season, because no season's the same. That's why Arteta coming out saying, we have 89 points. We had that this year. We won the league. False. Every single year, it's different. It's
different context.
Is relative. It's relative. Everything in life is relative to where you are. That's what inflation is about. That's what life, who you meet, it's all relative to your environment and what you're around, etc. That's a deeper conversation. But it works in football. The points you achieve is relative to your rivals and the success of other teams as well. Do you understand? So that's why.
Highlight Garrick's comment. Finish your thought. I want to bring that next, because that's something very important. He's talking about the managers.
Yeah, because we're going to bring on Maresca now, because he is in the
that, and so I was going to bring it with the perfect. Yeah.
Talking about relative discussions, obviously yesterday people have mixed views on the game. In terms of Chelsea coming out, not playing that well, and then Maresca changing it up. Do you feel like, Devin, in your opinion, talking on tactics in football now, that he is flawed, that although he does change things up, it's too late? Do you like the fact that our best players aren't in their best position? That's one of the main criticisms I'm seeing, is that a lot of fans aren't happy with the fact don't really create a lot of chances. In my opinion, we do. We're still second highest in the league, but people aren't happy with the way we do it. That's feelings, because we do create a lot of chances, so that's just stupid. But anyway, do you like the fact, which is an opinion, he's not putting our best players in the best position, like Palmer's, James, Gusto's? Do you think with better players we can do better and win leagues and win trophies, or do you feel like he's the reason why we've improved, but we could have done better than we've even done this season? Like what's your opinion on that?
Twofold question. I'll start with the players out of position. Very simple. I don't think he does it to all players, but it's clear. I.e., Jackson, striker, should be a left inside forward. Gusto inverting at right back. He can't invert. What else would I mention? Gusto inverting right back. You could argue about Reece James as well, being in the midfield. And then it's just so many players you think of like that, where I would say, why not put Reece James, who's clearly, when he's fit, a world-class right back, put him in right back? Because what Garrick's, I'll bring it back to this comment, because Garrick, you've been putting some really good comments, man. Big up yourself. He said if we're winning games, they wouldn't care if they were playing out of position.
My boy from
Yeah. And that's the point I want to bring to Maresca. I want to keep this balance. I want to say this irrespective if we were winning games. And irrespective if you're winning games, you put your best player in their best position. You don't need a coaching badge to know that. That's one of the basics of the game. Like, it's not like, oh, in the modern era where we're talking about, like, okay, Cole Palmer, technically, he can be in the 10, he can be on the right. Like, there are technical, like, he can be in a best position in multiple positions. But a lot of players are one-dimensional, i.e., take Gusto. Gusto is a traditional fullback. He does not dart across. He does not invert. He's a traditional back. But yet we invert him for the modern game, for the system that Maresca wants to employ, and it clearly made a worse player of Gusto. We can all agree. This was Gusto's probably worst season I've seen in a Chelsea shirt. So my issue with Maresca, and I say this irrespective of winning games, Garrick, You play your best players in their best position. So that's the answer to the first question. Yes, I personally have a problem with it. I believe we've dropped points because he's not put the best players in the best positions and other things that I'm about to mention right now. 2, been very sporadic with his changes. That Newcastle game, he got it correct. Jackson sold the game because we got back into the game after the changes Maresca made. He tried to keep us above water. That's why, I'm very conflicted about the Newcastle game, because the reality is, if Jackson didn't get sent off, I still think we were good for a 1-1 draw. It was going that way. The lineup. People want to talk about the lineup. Did you really have an issue with the lineup? Not really. Let's be honest. We didn't really have an issue with the starting lineup. I had an issue with us not being switched on in the first 3 minutes to concede a goal. That goes from the manager to the team. After that, what did he do? He was proactive. He saw we went down a man. He made the changes we needed to at least keep us in the game. The only criticism I have for him is not putting George or someone else on, an extra attacker, because losing 2-0 and 1-0, at the context of what that game meant, it did not matter. We needed to go for it to try to draw the game by any means. That's my only criticism of Maresca yesterday as far as tactical changes. But the reality is, if you're sitting here and you watched that game yesterday, and you're saying that Maresca was the reason we lost that game yesterday, I don't rate your footy knowledge at all. It's clear as day, that Jackson red card, game was done. Because we already conceded a goal. That was it. The moment he got that red card, we were done.
Yeah,
I give the team massive credit. Caldwell, Cucurella, Caicedo, I can name a couple others. Massive performances for nothing. And that's the point I'm trying to say. When it comes to Maresca, if you put your best players in their best position, and maybe if in some of these games, I say Ipswich, for example, you start with that tempo instead of waiting till we're 2-0 down to make the changes to get back in the game, we would have dropped far less points.
Yeah, 100%.
But if I'm being...
I feel like... Go the start of the game, because seeing that early goal, a lot of people put that down to the system and the players, because obviously Lavia, Caicedo losing the ball. And then we can see the early goal, which isn't great, and that's because of leadership, which we've already spoken about. Goalkeeping issues, we've already spoken about. Not having a leader at the back is a massive issue. If we have a leader at the back, if we had a Dan Burn, I don't think they score that goal. Put it that way. Even if it's someone experienced, for example, it doesn't happen. But then the manager does change things up, and with 10 men, we look at the better team for that 65, 70 minutes. So you can't just put that down to Newcastle sitting back when they're 10 men at home at St. James's Park. There's no reason for them to sit back and soak up the win. Because at the end of the day, you would expect them to go and win that game regardless of how they do it. So I'm going to give the players and management credit there. But I do agree with the criticism saying he isn't putting our best players, like Devon said, very perfectly in the best position. So I can't really legislate for that. I can't really. And Garrett made a good point, which is if you win, no one cares. So when you don't win, we have to care, using the same logic. So when we're not winning games and you're putting Palmer in the left half space and this player here, you do have to look at him and go, bro, maybe just go back to basics and maybe you'll get better results, which is his own criticism that he hasn't done that. He does make changes in game, but I feel like the players be mismanaged. When you go for a 3-month stint like we did and you don't win many games, of course you're going to have to look at him. Because who else
that's valid. That's valid.
The same players were making us second in the league, one game away from being first. So all of a sudden, it can't just be the same players now flopping. It's your job to manage that team, rotate it, motivate them. That's your job as a manager. If things go stale, seeing that, adjusting it, and guess what? It's difficult. That's why you get paid millions to do it. That's the whole point, where you're top high earner in the country for whatever job you have. So for me, he should sort that out. And again, just like Garrick's saying, if we win the Conference League, if we get top 4, then again, this will be revised. A lot of people are, oh, you know what? The season wasn't that bad. And maybe if we maybe got a striker and a goalkeeper, maybe we'd even do better with the same system. So because we lost, because we're in a top 5 battle, these conversations are going to happen. But even we'll have to concede. If we don't get Conference League win and we don't make top 4, then obviously you can look at him and go, bro, like...
Yeah, that's different.
As it stands, I'm having this opinion. Like Devin said earlier, when Facts change, opinions change. So if the facts are we don't make top 5 and we don't win Conference League, then obviously I'm not going to
His
sit here and
job is
say the
on the
same
line.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to logically change my opinion. I was just being delusional and stubborn.
And the only reason I say that, Ches, is I have to be consistent. I wanted Poch's head after his season. So I can't sit here and watch Maresca say finish 6th and not get the Conference League win and then not ask for his head as well. Although, like I said, we do need to keep some continuity with managers. Like I'm bored of the hire and fire, hire, sack, do this, do that. Next manager, if they don't compete for the league or win a chance. That model under Roman only worked so far. That does not work in the modern era of football anymore. You need a team structure, ethos and philosophy that comes from the top of the board down to the pitch. And if you do not have that, you are not winning any major honors. Look at Arsenal, 800 M's deep. They've had Arteta for 6 years. Guess what? We've won more trophies than them. So what does it matter? You need to have a proper team structure, a philosophy. And do you know what the last thing is, Ches, at the end of all that? Quality players. That's all it is, Ches.
Yeah.
Once you have the structure in the team, it's quality players.
And even the unstable, like firing works to a certain degree when you have a stable team. When your team is solid. That's why it works under Roman. You can't just like hire and fire when you got your team for the 19-year-olds. Like to what?
My thing, when's the last time we had a spine, Ches? I think Conte's 2017 team is the last time I had a proper spine at this club.
I can give you the spine when we had. So the spine would have been when we had Mendy,
Costa, Moses, Alonso. Oh wait, you're going to that time. Yeah, that's when I think we had a proper spine. Most recent, I would only say.
Oh, if we're talking about spine that lasted a few years, it would have been.
Yes, brother, the one where you knew for 3 years you're competing for the league, even if you didn't win it.
I'm gonna name one player in the position because two.
Yeah,
the whole team.
Of course.
So it was Courtois, Terry.
Yep.
Kante, Fabregas, or Matic, for everyone to use.
Yep.
Mato, Zard, and then you had Costa.
Yep. Then you had Alonso and Moses as our wing back.
And then you had the fullbacks and the two. I think we had two midfielders next to Kante, Fabregas.
We're talking about prime Alonso, by the way. We're not talking about washed up Alonso. We're talking about prime Alonso.
Charlo's and Mourinho, isn't it?
Yeah, Mourinho. It's just Ches. My thing is, it's like people are trying to run before they walk. We don't even have a proper bona fide spine right now, and people are trying to be like, sack the manager, or like, why is no one talking about the sporting directors? Like, it's just so weird to me. Like, why are you looking at Maresca and get it very clear? Maresca is very flawed as a manager. He has his ups and he has his downs. But why is Maresca the focal point yesterday? Like, I saw too many people talking about Maresca instead of Jackson. Like, you get what I'm saying? And I saw too many people not addressing how the team has been set up to be given to Maresca. Because I had this same criticism for Poch, and this criticism was never more loud than when Potter was here. Because poor Potter got like 45 people in the dressing room. And he's a newer manager. If you listen, let me say this very clearly. Put Maresca in Potter's situation, and it's dead. Do you get what I'm saying? He would have drowned just like Potter did. But go ahead, read that comment. My bad.
We just said it's valid though. So a lot of our problem is fan expectation. Fact, as we're speaking about the fan section earlier, we brought young players and fans expect them to challenge. Facts. We're building, and if we make UCL this season, we could fast track to. I couldn't agree with this anymore, Somali players. It's why my fellow viewers, I literally could agree with that. If we make UCL and sign good players, they're going to flip-flop. Then I'm going to say, we must compete. We must. Because it's been 3 years. You idiots. Just last year, you were telling me you wouldn't even make top 4. What are we doing? You were complaining to me about the only... And I don't like sporting directors like that. But I'm not to the degree of other people. I'm just saying tweak it a bit. I like their signings. I'm consistent from literally when they join. I like the idea. The execution of the idea is why I question sometimes.
Yeah.
There we go. But people don't, when they hear me say that, they're like, "Oh, you love them." No, you idiot. I like the idea. There's the execution behind it. I'm questioning at some points. Not all points.
Why you always have to bring up the midfield.
Example, I need to get that spine. I need to get that ST. I need that goalkeeper. We haven't addressed those areas, so I'll criticize them. Now, if they do that and it works, am I now going to be like, "Oh, well, you should have done it anyway"? No, I'm going to be like, "Yo, give you credit. You got the right signings in, etc." And at the end of the day, a lot of fans, like Samaya said here, they're just in two minds. Me, Devin spoke about earlier. 1 minute we're Champions League winners, and now we're competing for top 5. They can't seem to handle that. In their heads, like, no, Chelsea should be top 3 every single year, and that's it.
And I call that the Roman problem.
That's what Roman done to us. And yes, it's twofold. It's good because it raises standard, which is a good thing, but it's bad because people can't seem to be living realism.
There was no What I say is there was no stability, Chuz. And because there was no stability, we ended up being a big club with a bunch of major honors instead of a Man City with a treble and a 4-peat. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if Roman set us up correctly, say the 03-05 year, when we were clearly cleaning everything, then we get down to 08-2012. We're still heavily competitive, cleaning multiple trophies. If Roman would have put his foot on the gas right there, said, "I'm going to stop sacking managers," because don't even get me started. We could go through so many high-profile managers, world-class winning managers. We sacked Ancelotti in the tunnel. Premier League, FA Cup, Ancelotti. Possibly the best attacking football we have played in our history. Sacked him because he came second. And then people wonder why they can't get used to sitting for 3 years. That's what it is, Ches. People are not used to this. They're like, "Oh," and say they're younger fans. Say they're like, "Oh, I'm 17. Oh shit, I'm 20. We still haven't won a trophy." That's what's happening, bro. You get what I mean? They're not used to it. So it's like the only way people have to understand in this modern era of football, if you want to be a big winner, if you want to be like Man City, I'm not even trying to say we want to, but I'm saying if you aspire to win like them,
build, man,
you have to be set up properly. You have to be set up properly.
Set up properly, stability. Man City didn't come in straight away and win the league. They came, like, the money came in, yes, they won a league and they dropped off a bit, won a league again. Then Pep came in, he came fourth, whatever it was, won the league, and then they went on to dominate.
But do you see the difference there? When they had Mancini, look at that. They only won 1 Prem. They had star-studded players, Aguero, Edin Dzeko, Yaya Toure, come on, the list goes on. But then, what did it take? Better quality. A better quality manager came in. A couple more quality players came in, because I'm not going to act like that Man City team didn't have quality.
Together, naturally.
Ding, ding, ding. 4-peat treble winners.
Structure, man. That's what we're saying is, hey, be out silent, be out the Trinidadians, of course. The people, them, every single time, yeah?
Hey, what, go on. We liming on the beach, my Trini man. I see you, brother.
Be out, you know what I'm saying? Be all the people there. I love my country, man. But anyway, we need to make sure that with the right structure there, and that's why we're looking for stability. So even though the manager might not be A1, if he does meet his objectives, I'm willing to make him stay here and build on that, get the striker in, bring back Petrovic. Someone said it here before we end off soon now, guys. I know a lot of you just joined, but yeah, whatever. Petrovic comes back, Hoyson joins, an experienced striker will join, hopefully experienced centre-back. And why can't this team challenge for the league, if not just be competent in the league next season and not worry about top 4 and do well in the Champions League, maybe reach a semi-final, definitely win a trophy? Because to end it on this, the reason why I clown Arsenal is because there's progress and no armpits. That's why I troll them. If they were winning stuff, I can't really say anything because they're progressing in the league, progressing, getting that stage of Champions League, and they're winning trophies along the way. The reason why I troll them is because they don't do that. If Chelsea win the Conference League now, win the FA Cup next season, progress in the league, no fans will complain. I'm telling you this now.
Exactly.
None of them will complain. Yes, there'll be a few idiots. Oh, I want to win the league though. But winning shuts a lot of people up. Why? Because that's the aim of the game. And at the end of the day, it's always been.
I'm willing to bet we get our targets this year. Some people will be talking about a title challenge next year. Watch how quick it switches. Yeah. The flip-flop, because we'll get Chelsea are going to get signed. Chelsea are going to get signed.
A good season, and even though we had a 3-month stint where we didn't score goals, we met the objectives, and we just need to get those strikers. And the sporting directors need to improve, and then they'll look at it that way. But right now, because things aren't all going the way they want, they're looking directly short term at the manager.
Sack
But
everyone.
That's why we have these channels where we have critical thinking. That's why we have these shows. We use our
Let's get more views, bro. Sack everyone. Hey, smash the likes, guys. Up the chest.
Yeah, that's a good
sack the sporting director. Sack the board.
I was a sack everyone.
Sack Maresca.
Let's not win the
trophy. Sack our midfield. That's the top 3 greatest midfields in England right now. Just sack everybody.
Let's not win anything. Let's not win no cups until it's the Champions League, because we don't need to win any trophies, do we? It's not like we haven't won anything for like 5-6 years, 4-5 years.
Not like we haven't lost. 4 of our last 5 finals.
Come on, man. Let's constantly. The Conference League isn't even that good. No one said it was, but guess what? We need a trophy.
And guess what? You want to go even extra shameless? We'll be the only ones to complete the set. So
we're the only ones to complete the set. We get the trophy. Mentality improves, but even if it's 10%, it improves. That's what I care about. Improvement. That's in life. Improvement. Even if it's 1%.
Everyone.
The 1% could push you on to making the 100%. You never know. But until you push, you'll never know, man. Go gym. If you work out, if you run, if you've got a partner, if you don't put the effort in, bro, you're always going to stagnate. It's how it is. But anyway, people, PL Devon for joining every single time. Not a lot of you.
Big up Chez, big up the chat. Everyone smash them likes.
Of course, you'll see Devon here soon. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Being consistent and enjoy your day, man. Hopefully